Get strong.
Kristin, I gotta hand it to you.
Kristin, I just have to say that I'm so inspired by you.
Thank you.
And when I read your caption, and of course I don't know the whole story. Well, I saw some of the story, and we're going to let you explain. That all the things that you do. I know I read you love that you're in a wheelchair. You love your dog Achilles. You've published books and you've done comic books, and I mean, to me that's a person that something can happen to somebody and they just give up.
Yeah.
And you are that person who has just moved on. So let me give the floor to you, and you tell us about yourself.
Thank you. I feel like I'm nonstop. And all the things that you listed, the marathons, the writing, the comics, the fencing, all that stuff, is just kind of what keeps me going, because my accident, I'll get to this, I'll come back to this, but it took a lot from me, but it also gave me so much more, the perspective, the opportunities, the drive. Honestly, it kind of made me who I am. So before I had my accident, which was when I was 14 years old, I was a competition cheerleader, a captain of my lacrosse team, and I was a field hockey player. And
wow, I love hockey.
Yes,
go Flyers.
I had a ton of friends. I was really athletic, tan skin. I was on top of the world. And then this accident happens. I'm on a jet ski. I go to the lake with three of my friends. One I had a really big crush on, one I knew since I was a kid in youth group, and one who I had just met that weekend. And on the last day of our trip, we split up on the two jet skis, where it was Mark driving me, my new friend, and I'm in the back, and then Field, the guy I've had a crush on, driving my friend. And so Field wasn't paying attention, and he ran into and on top of Mark and I. Mark fell forward and died on impact, and I was turning around like, what is that noise? It hit me on the left side of the brain for a traumatic brain injury on my right side, and the middle of my torso, where I had a complete injury, which no feeling and no sensation, right above my belly button. And they also said, she's going to be dead. She's going to die. If she does make it, she'll be a vegetable for a brain injury. She's not going to be able to talk, breathe, swallow, say goodbye to your daughter. They called my parents and said, hopefully an extra birth. And so that's what happened. That was August of 2005. I turned 15 when I was in the hospital. Not my best birthday. And then in September, and then I woke up. I'm saying woke up because I had short-term memory loss, and so I didn't wake up out of my coma for a while, and then took a little bit longer for my memory to come back. So that came back in around October of 2005, or my first memory was Halloween in the hospital, which is not as fun as it sounds. It sounded fun. But that was one of my first memories. And then I got out of the hospital on December 13th of 2005, where at that point they told my parents she lived, obviously. She has all these things that we said that she's not going to have, but she's never going to feel or move below her injury level again. That means no walking, no sports, no getting around the world with ease. That's just that's what's going to happen. And so my parents are the most wonderful people that I know. And they said, yeah, she is. What are you talking about? She's already proved you wrong and all these things already. So she's going to keep going. And of course, I was all in for it too. So I got out of the hospital December 13th. And then I was home for 2 weeks. And I landed in Carlsbad, California on December 31st. Happy New Year. And I worked out for 4 hours a day, 5 days a week at a place called Project Wall for about a month and a half. Came back and wiggled my toes. So I forgot your questions. I hope this is relevant. I forgot.
Oh, no, completely.
We're good. Okay.
Completely, yes.
We're good.
And I wiggled my toes. And then I came back to school, sophomore year of high school. I started sophomore year, halfway through the year. because I was in the hospital. I was in California for the first half. So I came back from California and I tried to, which is the social side of this, blend in with a group of my peers who were all 15 and like having the best years of their lives. And I'm struggling, to sit up long enough to brush my teeth, or like, to go to school for the whole day, which I didn't do for the first year. I left half day. But I was actually doing half day at school, and then I was coming home, and I like second semester at school and coming home and working on the first semester so that I could get caught up, graduate on time, and also be able to go off to California again. So I did that. I went to California every summer break until sophomore year of college, which is a total of 9 times I went, and a few extra trips in there. And I got stem cells in Dominican Republic. I went to Ohio to work. I traveled the country and the world for rehabilitation. And I have a long list of things that they never said I'm going to be able to do. I'm now a complete injury, which means I have a little bit of feeling and a little bit of movement below my injury level. I can wiggle my toes. I can walk with the walker. I can feel pressure. I can, bladder control is starting to come back. It's amazing. Your face, what?
That's incredible.
And
Oh my God.
Did you find a lot of assist, like when you did the stem cell? Did you see a big change with that? Like what part of the treatment really benefited you the most?
Okay, so 2-part question. What benefited me the most, hands down, is working out so much and just kind of like a healthy lifestyle. But that all started and continued with how much I did and I do work out. And for the stem cells, no. I went the first time to Dominican Republic. I went straight to California, worked out as much as I did for a month and a half. And I started to move my left leg. My left leg started moving, and I learned how to crawl. And so I was like, oh, the stem cells are working great. So I went back again the second time in the same year, and I got nothing back. And so I went a third time because I'm not giving up, and I got nothing back. So maybe it was the stem cells, or maybe it was just too early in the science, or maybe like stem cells are not the answer. But
I hear so much about it that I'm always curious as to its effectiveness or not, but still the fact that you got that far when they tell you no,
but
there is
how old are you now?
incredible.
I turned 33 14 days ago, whatever. And
well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
And you have
33, you're getting old.
Yes. I used to be able to do marathons with little to no training, and now I'm like, I need to train for this. I need to like bust my butt like a normal person.
I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing that with everything that you're going through, that you're starting to get some feeling back when they said you'd never get anything. And is it will, determination, aside from working out and stuff like that, it's gotta be your mind. I think the mind is a very, there's a fine line. People don't understand how strong a person can be in their mind, and that you can will a lot of things to happen. I mean, I'm not saying that you're going to get up and do a jig tomorrow, but I mean, it's very evident that you're very strong and strong-willed.
Thank you.
And you're doing a lot of wonderful things.
So, 2 things. They told me to tell everyone the first year after your accident is like, that's when you get stuff back. And after that, you won't get stuff back. Like, have a nice life. They said that a lot. Like, here's your wheelchair. Have a great time. Like, you have a year and then you're kind of done. I just celebrated in August my 18-year anniversary of my accident, which is like a second birthday. It's so much like I love. Everyone's like, oh, it's what a sad day. I'm like, no, it's awesome. Like, I'm alive for 18 more years. It's great.
Well, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
But so the first year I started wiggling my toes. I started feeling pressure. I think that's all. And year 16, which is 2 years ago, I started to get the bladder, not much control, but sensation back. So I'm like, guys, nothing you tell me is true. Like 15 years later, I'm starting to get stuff back.
How excited were you?
I mean, it's great. Like
just like mind blowing where you're like, get out of here. You know,
bladder control, sensation, anything bladder related, over walking any day, hands down.
Really?
It's just the most like tricky. It's more tricky than my wheelchair just to manage and predict, because my body is a little bit like, it's kind of, I imagine my upper body is like in the light, and then once we get more mid torso, it just kind of turns gray, and it's kind of like the unknown.
Right.
So and so predicting that, I mean, getting around is something I can figure out, but kind of deciphering the gray part of my body is hard, and there's no amount of anything I can do to get that back.
So where you're at now with being able to use a walker, how comfortable do you feel with that, and what's the progression for that? Did they give you at least some hope? You know, like obviously you proved them wrong so far, so I'm sure you're at the point where you don't even listen to them anymore.
I don't even know.
But
You are.
I still know how you feel, and how do you feel going forward? Where do you see yourself, let's say a year or 2 years from now?
All right. So the walker is leg braces and a walker. So, and I can put them on. I can put on the leg braces and walk the walker for maybe like, call it an hour at a time. So it's very much still like a rehabilitation tool that I use. It's not as much like getting around. And at the end of the hour or however long I stand, I'm like, give me my wheelchair, which is something that I would never say, like, please give me my wheelchair. But it's just like, it takes a lot out of me, because my lower body is not strong, didn't have the endurance. So it's very much like I do it and I'm done.
But yeah, that's a process.
Yeah.
Definitely a process.
Yeah.
Do you keep in touch with the friends that were there, that lived, and everything?
Good question. So the girl, my friend that I was at her house, she moved away when I was in high school. I think like the year that sophomore year, when I came back to high school, she moved away. I talked to her maybe less than 5 times in my life after that. The guy who hit me, I talked to him 3 times, like, meaning he's talked to me. It was a little bit strange, but all like the blanket statement, I understand. He killed one of his best friends. He paralyzed me. He's dealing with stuff that I can't imagine.
Right. Or yeah.
Or he's moved on and he's processed it and he's put it on a shelf. Fine. I don't need anything from him. But I think I talked to him like 3 times. I said, I would see him in the hallways and he would look right past me. But again, I'm not losing any sleep about it. I knew him. We were like great friends. Like I knew him for like a couple weeks before all this happened. So I didn't like lose a great friend in every morning. It's kind of like, you do you. It's fine. I'm a different group of friends. He's processing and dealing with it in different ways than I can.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where you just, control what you could control, which is just you, and deal with the things that are important to you and focus on you.
That's sort of where I skipped when I woke up. Woke up in the hospital. I didn't have, and I was told, I don't remember the moment, which is like, how can you forget that, Kristin? That they told me, hey, you're paralyzed, like no more all this stuff. I don't remember that, but I think I woke up in an environment of my parents and my close friends were just so like, here's what happened. Here's what God gave you. Like, you are so fortunate. Here's what, like, they said you're going to do, but you're awake and you're talking. Like, this is the comparison. And it kind of, I skipped, and also, Kristin, you have a month and let's blow this joint and let's go to California and let's start getting better. So I skipped over all the why me's and the feeling sad for myself and pity and like getting mad at field or anything. It's just a waste of time.
It's easy to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Right.
This is time I can be spending working on myself and getting better, and like to be caught up in the why me or the sad about myself is like, what a waste. So
yeah,
easier said than done, but I was able to do it. So.
No, totally. Everything's easier said than done.
Oh, yeah.
you make it sound easy, but if the script was flipped and it was me, No, of course, it's not easier. I mean, it is easier said than done. And it's just a moment, just like many of our veterans have faced and a lot of people in life. And everything is like that.
Oh, yeah. There's
Life changes
very
like that.
It's very much like you say, oh, I could never do that, or I could never handle a situation like that. But then when you're actually put to the test, and one, I had a choice. I could have given up and been sad and everything.
Right.
In my mind, I didn't really have a choice. And I chose the route of healing and progress. And when you're really put to the test, that's when your faith, your perseverance, your community, everything kind of comes into play. And you're like, okay, this is, for example, like this is the faith in God I've had my whole life, but now I'm like applying it. Now it's real, and this is what I'm leaning on. And then you kind of see like, okay, I'm stronger than I thought, or like I can get through way more than I thought.
But isn't it cool to see the people that come and are there for you?
Yeah.
If you realize, oh my God, these people really do love and care about me.
Yeah. Before my accident, like I said, I had tons of friends, and after my accident, which I'm not blaming anyone because I understand it was unknown for everyone, they dropped like flies. I have maybe a hand or two hands worth of friends I can count.
But I have leprosy,
Yeah, I was also like, I'm not really I'm not really doing this for friends right now. I'm focusing on myself and trying to figure out how to deal with myself at the same time they're trying to deal with me. And so, like, they moved on. I moved on. It's fine. But then those people that stuck with me and did it with me, I still talk to all of them. And, one of them, my best friend, Katie, she came from Virginia to North Carolina on the day that I was hurt, was with me in the hospital. She's still my best friend. Like it's like the few people that really good at it, and they're there for me.
So you took that time when you were in college, and you learned, or you got very, very involved in writing, and really enjoyed it.
Yes.
To the point where you became an author, an illustrator. I mean, how many books have you done? And the illustrations you do are, I assume, with comic books or with your own books. I'm not really sure. But talk a little bit about, your career, where you've come to in that aspect of your life.
Okay. So I started writing when I was a sophomore in high school because I said, I need an easy class because I have a lot going on. So I'll take creative writing. So that's easy, and you can't really fail creative writing because it's creative. So that's when I discovered that I love to write, and this is like a good outlet for me, and I'm processing, and I'm, not bad at it at the time. I was like pretty okay with that. So I started writing then, and then I gave my parents, my grandparents for Christmas, and my sister a book of 32 stories. You didn't know I was writing. Here it is, like my experiences. I would do something like, try acupuncture for the first time and go home and write about it and then store it on my computer. So I gave them a self-published book of just 32 stories. And doing that, I said, that was kind of fun. I like it. I like having a voice, having a platform. That might be fun to publish a book, but no one actually publishes a book. Who does that? So I'll just it's just like a far off dream, but I had a part-time job. So I started working on, so I had a lot of time. I started working on putting it all together and getting it edited and pitching it to publishers, literary agents. And so this book idea kind of became like a dream of mine. And then I ended up connecting with the owner of Morgan James Publishing, the best month of my life. I met with him. I signed a contract. I started this whole process. Greater Things was born. And that's the story of when I met Field, the guy I had a crush on, all the way up through college. So it's like going through relearning everything, and working out. And also,
you said his name was Field.
Yeah,
that's a red flag right there.
Yeah. And also at the same time, like going to high school and fitting in and all that stuff. So it's a whole journey. And I quit my job when that book came out because I said, I'm going to try to do this author thing. What is something I do a lot of, I know a lot about, I can publish our next book on, and it was go on bad first dates. So I went on This is the comic book. I went on 32 dates in 2.5 months, which like lost my flipping mind. I would not recommend that. It was terrible. And I published, and I didn't.
I bet.
Yeah, I turned all the dates into a story, and I exposed all the horny, inappropriate, no manners.
That's
Like
super cool. And I guarantee that is such a good read because the world needs to know what sick individuals men are.
Whether it's me or the boy in Richmond or Wolves is Barrel, but
Sick, it doesn't matter. They're all banana heads. They really are.
and so that's the one. That's actually episode 1 is up on YouTube. If you just search "Date Me," that there's a TV series in the works. So do that anyway. So then I published Million Suns, which like I'm full into this author thing. I'm like I'm a full-time author. This is awesome. Let's keep going. So Million Suns was kind of like a follow-up. The whole premise is like finding my passions. I lost in my accident. So we have sports. That's where I met my husband. We have my dog. We have things I try. All these fun and stuff. That's A Million Suns. And then Wide Awake just came out, which is my fiction, which is completely in the left field as fiction goes. But that's a very
Yeah, but that's cool because, it gives you an opportunity to really just get as creative as you,
pull out.
make your own world, which is super cool. And you mentioned your husband. I see the big old rock on your finger.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Tell us how that happened.
From the time I met him in church, the most wholesome way you can meet someone. Everyone says, meet a guy in church, meet a guy in church. And I'm like, they're all either married or weird or like, I'm not going to meet a guy.
That's what I'm doing wrong. I have to go back to church.
No, it's the purple hair.
There we go.
It's the purple.
But then I met him in April. No, not April. April of 2019 is when we met. We got married in April of 2021. I think I'm getting my right. And then in April of 2023, just recently, we had our first son. We had a baby.
No.
Yeah, and since
You had a nugget?
since the first time I talked to you guys till now, I've like had a baby. I'm a mom. I'm like, my life has completely flipped upside down. So
You had a midget?
yeah, like
God, now you get us.
now I got it.
Awesome.
He is.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What's his name?
Malachi.
Oh my God, Micah. Oh, congratulations.
Malachi.
Oh, Malachi. I'm sorry.
Okay. It's fine. So he was like sitting in my seat. Going back a little bit, he was sitting in my seat. The seat that I always sit in. So he introduced himself, and I apparently said, "You're sitting in my seat." The first like couple sentences. I'm like, "Good grief!" And he signed it for me. And we just, fell in love. It wasn't that easy. Easier said than done. Once again.
That's wonderful. Now you can do some books as, being a mother, all the what you're going to go through as a mother. You can start doing, different illustrations.
But like that. Find it.
Oh, you're going to have an endless. Endless. I have 2 boys. They're older now, 19 and 21. But believe me, if I would have been as smart as you back then and I started writing about my experiences, believe me, oh my God.
You'd be another Stephen King.
Really? / The Exorcist. / 40-year-old virgin. /
What is your household like?
That's so wonderful.
2 kids, a wife, and like lots of animals.
Yeah. Actually.
I would have a farm if I could in my house.
You already do, but that's the same.
That's awesome. I can't. That's that they have your first child. Do you want to have another one? Or you just got to play it by ear.
Definitely we're thinking about it. Right now it's like, let's just focus on one person because when he was 1 month old, I was texting Katie, and telling her I have like newborn fever, and she says, "You have a newborn." I'm like, "I know, but I want another one." And my husband is, "Slow down, Kristin, slow down. Let's focus on the first one." So we don't know when, but eventually.
You will. But Malachi has to have some of your attention first before.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, he has to feel that mom and dad love and go through a few things, you know, first.
You know, smothered with love right now. So
yeah, that absolutely.
Kristin, it gets worse. They start to eat more. They get more expensive.
Yeah, as my husband has the metabolism and the diet of just like, you know, an Energizer bunny. I know.
I had my boys too far apart, but I had my girls 2.5 years apart, which was a great number, 2.5 years, because they were best friends. They still could play with one another. They had a lot of the same friends growing up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they had their moments because they're girls, you know.
Yeah.
Boys go out and don't care how dirty they get. Girls are different. You know, your husband will have to get another job if you have a girl. But 2.5 years is a nice time. Not that, you know, I mean, you're going to do what you're going to do, but it gives you that chance to have time.
Yeah. My sister and I are years apart, and it's perfect. So
yeah, it is.
How many years apart?
2.
2. Perfect.
Yeah, it is a perfect time. You know, yeah. Eddie and his brother, I mean, Eddie would say he's breathing the air in the room, you know. I mean, because they would.
Well, we were 6 years apart, and we, you know, 6 years as a kid is a big.
It's a big deal. It's a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2 years is 2.5 years is good, but I was sort of.
I abused them. You know, what are you gonna do? You're an older brother. Where did you, Kristin? Where did you grow up?
Richmond. Well, I right 20 minutes outside of Richmond, and now I live about 40 minutes.
Okay.
I'm gonna be up that way next week in DC.
Oh, nice. Okay, DC is like close enough to drive to, but somewhere I also don't really.
Yeah, right.
I can't be going.
No, my wife is flying up there for business, and I just tag along just to go hang out in Georgetown.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
fun every once in a while, but
yeah,
it's mostly like, nope, I'm staying in the country.
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of a setup where you can drive or no? Because I know some people, you do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
I got the license when I was a senior in high school because I was dealing with other stuff and I didn't really, gas is high. I don't want to drive. I don't care. And so I got a break before I went to college.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good. That's really good. So you've accomplished so much.
I'm trying,
you know, and you're going to accomplish so much more, you know, and you're such a great inspiration. And I can't wait for people to listen to your story and to meet you. And, you know, people say, you know, oh, if this happens, I would never be able to deal with it. Of that, you know, I couldn't handle it. But then, you know, you have to look at someone like you and realize, you know, with faith and you know, the will to live and the will to go on, you know, you can
support.
Really see, yes, and the support that you've had, yes, it's really unbelievable.
Who and what you choose to lean on, because you know I couldn't have done it without my faith, yes, but also parents pushing me, my close friends pushing me, like the reason, like, it's a lot of things go into it, but you know.
Did you have anybody on your sidelines that was giving you a little tough love?
Every doctor I've ever talked to, but
really,
tough love, yes. Them saying like, no way. My parents, my mom is soft as me, meaning like we're just women. I think we're just like women. We're just emotional and we're just soft, whatever. And my dad is more of like the tougher side of it in a very loving, accommodating, and you know, in the way that's good. So it's a balance between the two. But then when this happened, both of them kind of came together and said, "Hey, Kristin, if you accept this, like if you want to do this, we can make it happen and we can do it." And kind of the tougher side of like, but you need to learn to, you know, get around your wheelchair and transfer and off-road, which at the time when I was in the hospital, off-roading was like the worst thing that was in my life. And I was like, you know, why do I ever have to go up the sidewalk rolling in the grass? It's completely unnecessary. I hate this. It's the worst thing ever. now it's the easiest thing ever. But it was just, it's just funny how my perspective changed because, rolling in the grass used to be the worst thing I can imagine. And now it's no big deal. But they just kind of came together and said, we're not forcing you into this, but if you want to do it, we're going to like fight everything we can to get you there and to like make this possible for you. But you got to do the work. So I kind of took that and I said, all right, like they're giving me the choice. I'm making the choice to do this. It's not like they're forcing me into it.
Right.
Go get them. And I did. And I am.
And is there any specific type of therapy that helped you the most? Did you do like aquatic therapy? Because there's so much more nowadays than there was even, 10 or 15 years ago. Is there anything now that they're able to do that propels you a little quicker?
So, aquatherapy, I never liked. Just as you say that. My mom was always the most like, get in the water. It's so good. And it is so good for you. But I'm like, it's a hassle. I don't want to do that. Anyway, so physical therapy, of course, is the I was going to say that. But then to balance off of that, to say something more interesting, massage therapy, of course, is my favorite. How painful it is.
As it should be.
Whatever.
You just got to tip your husband, right?
No, I always said, I'm going to marry a massage therapist. Because there we go. I didn't do that. I married IT instead. But then, I can't even like get this, like, I can't even get him to give me massage often as I want to. So I just started last month, actually, on my 18-year anniversary. I just started, I'm going to, every single month at the very least, I'm going to start getting a massage because it's taking care of my body and it feels like I'm treating myself, but it's very much like it's necessary, especially how much I use my upper body. But it's just like, do it for yourself, Kristin. It's worth the money. So I can say that I've done it very sporadically throughout my injury, but to do it consistently is just so good to help to not lose the progress that I'm making, because I ride my hand cycle, 5-6 miles 2 or 3 times a week. And so I'm tight. Really.
So are you basically telling me right now that you would whip my ass in an arm wrestling match? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, probably. It's like, definitely.
Basically, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And then, Kristin, I was going to ask if you did any like homeopathic stuff, like cryo.
I have done literally everything that I can get my hands on. I've tried everything, leave no stone unturned. That's why I did stem cells 3 times instead of just giving up. When I went to California, especially on the East Coast where I live, there's hardly anything. It's really hard to find any kind of out-of-the-box therapies or anything that kind of gives you hope. But you go over to California, you go over to the West Coast, and they're all about like, let's change you, let's improve you, let's get you out of this. So I had access to a lot of different stuff out there. I've actually never done cryo. I said almost everything, but I've never done cryo. But I've done, craniosacral. I've been to the Craniosacral Institute in Ohio, in Florida, and I've done like acupuncture for years and years, and horse equestrian.
What about Elon Musk? I mean, he's got a company where he's working on inserting certain things into the brain that works with the motor responses in your arms and your legs. Have you done any investigating into what he's working on?
I have. I read an article long ago and it got me really excited. I think this is all coming from my little mind, but I'm keeping up very closely, relatively closely with the 4-month-old, with new research and new things they're doing. And I think that I'm pretty sure that Elon Musk is dealing with eStem. And I think that eStem, just me saying it, I think that eStem is going to be our answer. I don't think stem cells have what it's going to take. I think eStem is the answer. So I did see, I'm going to look that up again for an update a couple months ago. But I think eStem is where it's going to be. And I'm in contact with a couple of researchers, actually only one, because I'm sending like emails and whatever, making great, who's doing eStem. And he's trying to get FDA approval, and it's this big, long year.
Right.
But, I think that's where the answer is going to be. But we're just going to wait because they're trying these crazy new things.
They are. We have somebody that we know very well. The girl is brilliant. She's absolutely brilliant. She just started college and she's already got a job for him when she's finished.
Wow.
That's how brilliant she is. But you could watch her on one of our shows, Bethany Bosworth.
Okay.
I don't remember what show she's on, but
she was going to MIT, but she was her hope was to specialize in what Elon
is doing. Yes. And she's met with them several times, and she's got a job there when she finishes. That's how brilliant she is.
And even what little we learned from her, because obviously it's in the work. There's not much. They don't have much answers yet, but from how she explained it and all that's involved, it looks like it could be an absolute home run.
Yeah.
If someone's going to do it, it's going to be Elon Musk. And
he's
also someone that I'm like, he's coming out with it, like, sign me up.
Yeah, definitely.
Look that up.
Yeah, definitely listen to her. She didn't want to be, it's on audio. It's not on video because she didn't want to be on video, and that was fine, but the girl's brilliant. Absolutely. I mean, when you're 18 years old and Elon Musk is already offering you a job and you're
pretty incredible.
At MIT, that's pretty incredible, So,
but it's even more exciting what they have going on.
There's so much going on behind the scenes of things that she didn't even reveal and stuff like that. That things that she saw when she went there, because she had to sign an NDA. So,
that's honestly, it's like talking to someone who went to Willy Wonka's candy shop.
I've got the golden ticket.
The gold ticket.
Let me ask you this, Kristin, in regards to everything. Obviously, you're in an amazing place now, and it's been obviously a long, hard road, which is unimaginable for 99% of the world. But how did it affect you from a PTSD standpoint, mental health standpoint, and how did you combat that, or was it all you just focused on the physical and the mental all at once?
Here's the beautiful part. I had short-term memory loss. So it happened. I'm making this up, but call it Sunday. It happened on a Sunday. So, and I'm going to make this less confusing. My short-term memory loss actually started a few days before. My mind wiped out until a few days before my accident. So I barely remember going to the river, going to the lake. I don't remember meeting Mark at all. I don't remember anything about him because I just met him for the first time that weekend. And I have forgotten, I've sweeped out all of the most traumatic parts. When I woke up, I was I had a placeholder trach, and I was a little bit weak, but other than that, I was fine. So I haven't had any return of that memory. It hasn't come back to me in flashes or anything. So that's been okay, but
that's amazing, actually.
Yeah, really.
One of the biggest blessings.
Really, honestly.
But the trauma was so intense. The trauma was so intense that your mind is just going to wipe it out. Yeah.
My mind was just like, nope, we're not giving her this one. She can handle it, but I don't want her to deal with that. So, but coming off that, I've just kind of learned this whole 18-year journey, we're going to call it. Just the power of my mind is incredible. The power of working out, somebody's moving my legs, kicking my leg, for example, moving them in a kicking motion, and me thinking about I can pull back the memories of what that felt like, and just closing my eyes, imagining what that felt like, and just feeling the feeling of that movement has led to me wiggling my toes. I stared at my toes for hours on end, just laying in the bed staring at them, until just thinking about moving up and feeling that, until one day they just wiggled, because I'm sending those brain signals down my legs continuously until they finally just connect. And then also after I started working out and everything, I'd started to get tingles, not the pain time, but tingles. So it's just the power of the mind is just incredible, and I can create anything, almost anything that I want if I think about it enough or if I connect enough. So that's been probably one of the biggest lessons.
Well, you have a little monkey running around now, or soon to be running around. So you're gonna have to get it together quick, because Malachi is gonna put you to the test.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure will.
If you don't wiggle your toes, he's just gonna tickle him or something, or fight him.
Chasing that boy around.
Oh, yeah. Boys are another thing.
Giddy up, man.
There's no way out, Kristin. I mean, you're stuck now. I mean, now you're like, now I got it. I got to chase this girl. Eventually, he's going to bring girls home. You got to chase them out,
Yeah.
Say a prayer for Beta.
Oh, believe me, I'll be saying a lot.
So, Kristin, where can people find you?
Okay. Good question. So my website, KristinBeal.com, is your portal for my books, for my comics. You can search for my
Beal.
Beale.
Mm-hmm.
Beale. Kristin Beal.
Kristin with an I, Beal with an E. And that's where you can sign up for my comics. You can read about my books. You can read. I write bi-monthly articles for the Christopher and Dana Reed Foundation. They're found on there. Just kind of learn about me, look at pictures, watch a short video, all that stuff. So that's the main spot. I'm also on Amazon, Borders, Barnes & Noble. My books are. I'm on Instagram. My personal Instagram is Kristin.Gupta, Gupta. This is where it kind of gets complicated because that's my married name. And then, but more fun, one of the fun ongoing things, I have a weekly comic strip that comes out on Instagram at Greater Things Comics. It's just like, I just draw a 6-panel comic about something that came to my mind, something that happened. It's a lot of fun. So if nothing else, check that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
It sounds like fun.
What's the chances I could solicit like an autographed one of your books?
100%. If you order it on my website, I sign. I draw a little Kristin figure, my cartoon. I can get you.
Sweet. I'll just have to remind you who I am.
And you're
I got you.
She'll be like, what? What podcast?
who
Who?
is this guy?
What?
At this point, I will not forget.
Well, Kristin, I thank you so much for spending your time and talking to us. And I think your story is so inspirational. I think you are an incredible person.
Thank you so much.
I've just had a great time being with you today on the show. And I will say to my audience, please look up Kristin, because I think you're probably going to love her books and love her comics and go on her Instagram and watch.
Come on.
And yeah, probably.
Kristin Beal.
Probably you will do this. The funny mind.
Better. Otherwise, she's not going to autograph anything.
You better.
So it's out of funnyminds.com.
I'm going to tell her son to tickle her feet as soon as possible.
Then on our site, we have 2 organizations that we're very involved with, and that's Women's Breast Cancer and St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So you'll see a big purple heart there, and if you care to, you can make donations to that. We have a store, and you can get the Spotify. Our video is on Spotify and YouTube, and then audio is on every other platform. So I really thank you, and I love all of our fans, and I hope everybody is safe, happy, healthy, non-judgmental, smile, and always remember to laugh, because laughter is the best medicine. And I say goodbye, Kristin, and good luck to you.
Kristin, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.